Hey, welcome back to Hobbies with Jose, everyone. Today we've got part 3 of our repaint of Transformers Back to the Future Gigawatt. And no, it's not the finale. I think I'm going to need 2 trilogies for this one. But I have made some progress during the week, so let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's great to have you back. So one of the things I've been thinking about this piece is how it's missing the DMC logo on the front grille. And shout outs to Slayer420 for giving me an excellent suggestion on one of my game streams, which you should definitely check out. You know what? Now that you say that, I haven't thought about that. I mentioned that I had just bought a resin 3D printer and he mentioned, why don't I just print my own logo? So I did. And here's what I managed to come up with. It's basically the plate of the logo, but it's so tiny that there really isn't any kind of a DMC popping up on it at all. And this is after printing this about 4 or 5 times. I don't know if I just need to keep messing with the settings or if the detail is so small that it's something beyond the printer's ability. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to keep fiddling with it, trying to figure it out. So instead, I came up with something else. So here is one of my very first model kits, the DeLorean based on Back to the Future Part 2. I think I was maybe around 15 years old when I was trying to put this together, and I gave up early on only because I wasn't happy with how the painting was coming along. But I kept it all this time, thinking I could maybe come back to it and finish it at a later time, never realizing that I would put it to a different use almost 20 years later. And you could see here what I did manage to put together, which this part doesn't look too bad actually. I even got the wheels installed, and I like the gimmick that it had to convert from flying to regular mode. That was pretty cool. And I even managed to get most of the dashboard in too, although this is the part that I wasn't too happy with. Yeah, this hasn't really held up particularly well over the years. It almost looked like it came from the 50s. But what I really wanted to look at was the body. Now, keep in mind that when I came back to the kit, the body was completely intact, but I wanted to get to that front DMC logo, so I started cutting away into it. But one thing I didn't realize is just how brittle this body has become. It really just kind of breaks apart pretty easily on you. But after cutting off the logo and sanding down the sides, I came up with this, which overall I'm pretty happy with. It did unfortunately crack on me on the letter C, so I had to glue that tiny piece back on, but it's not too noticeable, and I think it should be less noticeable once I paint it too. But this is what I'm going to end up gluing onto the grill of Gigawatt. There is one thing to note though. There is a noticeable size difference between the model kit and Gigawatt. So that logo is going to be quite a bit large onto the grill. But at this point, I think I'm going to be okay with that. Yeah, it certainly does stick out a bit, but I think that looks overall pretty good. Hopefully it'll look better once I apply paint on it. Now what I'm going to do first is put the stainless steel paint onto the body, but I'm going to mask off this front section. I think I'm going to paint everything else by hand, so I'm going to prevent the stainless steel paint from getting in the front. And in case you didn't see last week, I'll be using stainless steel by Seymour, so I'm hoping that gives it a good look for the body. But let's go ahead and get started. Alright, I'm going to keep working on this throughout the week, just adding a few more coats and just cleaning things up, but overall I do like how the logo looks. I don't think it looks like it's sticking out too much, so that's good. And the stainless steel paint really worked quite well. The tiny lines on the plastic really help it to look like brushed metal, so I couldn't be happier with that. But next week we'll continue painting all the little details onto the figure, and hopefully soon we'll start assembling it, so hope you can all join me for that. So if you like what you saw, you know what to do, and feel free to follow me on social media as well. Hopefully you can join me on one of my live gaming streams. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Take care.